It started quietly, almost like a coincidence. One night at exactly 3 a.m., Mark was pulled out of sleep by a faint knocking sound, 3 slow knocks against his front door. He lay there in bed, frozen. Maybe it was a dream. Maybe some drunk neighbor had the wrong house. He forced himself not to think too much about it and went back to sleep. The next night it happened again. 3 knocks, firm, rhythmic, as though someone stood patiently outside his door, waiting. Mark sat up in bed, his pulse racing. He listened carefully. No footsteps, no voices, no movement at all. Just silence after the knocks. He grabbed his phone. 3 a.m. Sharp. When he finally gathered the courage to peek through the peephole, the porch was empty. No one. By the third night, dread had already settled into his stomach. He waited in bed, eyes fixed on the clock. The digital numbers glowed in the dark. 2:58, 2:59, 300. Knock, knock, knock. He bolted upright, his skin cold with sweat. He ran to the door, flung it open wide. Nothing. The street was still. The air was heavy, almost suffocating, and the silence pressed down like a weight. From then on, it became routine. Every single night at 3 a.m., 3 knocks echoed through his house. Always the same, always patient, always waiting. At first, Mark tried to ignore it. He buried himself under blankets, wore headphones, blasted music just to drown it out. But somehow, even with the volume high, the knocking always found a way through. A vibration in the walls, a sound he felt in his chest. The exhaustion consumed him. He stopped sleeping properly. His eyes were ringed with shadows, his hands shook constantly, and people at work began to notice. He couldn't explain it without sounding insane. One night, desperate for proof, he set up his phone to record the door from 2:50 until 3:10. He sat in the living room, staring at the clock, refusing to move. And right on time, knock, knock, knock. The sound made his stomach turn. His phone camera kept rolling. He waited until morning before checking the recording. When he hit play, his heart sank. The knocks were there, loud and clear. But no one was visible. No shadow. No movement. Just the sound of knuckles hitting wood. He replayed it again and again, hoping he missed something. But there was nothing, except one small detail he hadn't noticed before. After the third knock, for just a split second, the camera flickered, and the faint outline of a hand seemed to appear against the door. Pale, thin, then gone. Mark tried telling himself it was a glitch, a trick of the light, anything but what it looked like. But deep down, he knew. The knocking wasn't random. It wasn't human. By the second week, he couldn't take it anymore. He tried leaving his lights on. He sprinkled salt by the door. He even stayed with a friend one night. But at exactly 3 a.m., his phone buzzed with a notification. He had set up a motion alert for his home camera. The alert read, "Motion detected, front door, 3 a.m." His blood turned to ice. When he returned home later that day, he found something that made him sick to his stomach. On the outside of his front door, carved into the wood, were 3 long, deep scratches, as if someone, or something, had dragged their fingers slowly down after knocking. That night, he didn't sleep at all. He sat in the corner of the living room, clutching a kitchen knife, staring at the door as the clock ticked closer to 3 o'clock. His breath came in shallow gasps. 2:59. The house was silent. Too silent. 3 o'clock. Knock, knock, knock. The sound reverberated through the room. His hand shook as he tightened his grip on the knife. "Who's there?" he whispered, though his voice cracked with fear. Silence. Then, slowly, the doorknob began to turn. Mark froze. He hadn't unlocked it. He was sure. He ran forward, slamming his hand against the knob to keep it from moving. On the other side, something pushed, a steady, deliberate pressure against his palm. He felt the cold metal vibrate, the strength of whatever was trying to get in. He shouted, "Leave me alone!" His voice echoed through the house, and then, just as suddenly, the pressure stopped. The knob went still, but Mark couldn't move. He stood there, his hand still pressed against the door, sweat dripping down his forehead, waiting for something else to happen. And then he heard it, a whisper, low, raspy, right at the edge of the door. "Let me in." Mark backed away, shaking, his knife clattering to the floor. His chest heaved as the whisper grew louder, filling the room as though the walls themselves were speaking. "Let me in. Let me in." Covering his ears did nothing. The voice crawled inside his skull, gnawing at his sanity. He stumbled backwards, tripped over a chair, and crashed to the floor. When he looked up, the knocking started again, only this time from every wall of the house, from the ceiling, from the floor beneath his feet, a chorus of hands demanding,